Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Bhagavad-Gita as it is, Chapter 18, Perfection of Religion, text number 66, page 749. Is one of the most famous verses. Sarvadhamma Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Raja Aham Tvam Sarvabhameyo Mokshashami Masuchaha Sarvadharma Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Raja Aham Tvam Sarvabhameyo Mokshashami Masuchaha. Word for word. Sarvadharma. All varieties of religion. Parityaya. Abandoning. Mam. Unto me. Ekam. Only. Saranam. For surrender. Raja. Go. Aham. I. Tvam. You. Sarva. All. Bhavya. From sinful reaction. Mokshishami. Will deliver. Ma. Do not. Uchaha. Worry. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Please repeat. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. They sing Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Did I say that? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Samati Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Janamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Prasarni Navasesha Shunyavadi Paskachade Satarne Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So this verse in Boyd Bajan's book, Surrender Unto Me, he gives a brief explanation. This verse In this purport, Srila Prabhupada glorifies full and immediate surrender to Krishna's service as the process that will qualify us for that service. One may think that unless he is free from all sinful reaction, he cannot take to this surrendering process. In such doubts, it is here said that even one not free from all sinful reaction, simply by the process of surrendering to Krishna, he is automatically freed. There is no need of strenuous efforts to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should unhesitantly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. Later in the purport, Prabhupada says that it's useless to worry and hesitate. The particular word used here in Mahasutra, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very significant. One may be perplexed how one can give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender to Krishna, but such worry is useless. So in Mahabharata, in the Shanti Parva, it tells that, gives some list of what is sinful. Not only 4 regulated principles, no eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, but also if a brahmachari rises after sunrise, one has rotten nails or black teeth, one who kills a brahmana, one who speaks ill to others, one who fails to fulfill a vow. It's like some people say they're going to follow Chaturmasya, so they're going to eat Havisham, which is rice and dal, no spice, for once a day. And then after 3 days, you see them in the restaurant eating pasta. And you say, what happened to your Chaturmasya? It was too difficult. So, it says one who fails to fulfill a vow, it means you shouldn't make a vow if you can't fulfill it. And so, it's considered sinful. So whatever, you can wait till Kartik if you want to do something, if you can't do it for 4 months. Selling meat is sinful. Giving vague knowledge to unworthy persons, taking money for discourse. People see Bhagavad Sata give Bhagavad discourses for money. This is sinful. Should not be done. One should not take money for giving Bhagavad discourses on Bhagavatam, and one should not expect to get money for giving discourses on Bhagavatam. This is considered sinful. Breaking a promise, eating forbidden food, having sex life with the wife of the Guru, refusing to give offspring to one duly wed wife. This is some sinful activities that we're unaware of. Most of us are unaware of. Especially if you speak ill to others, it says that consider a sinful activity. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that you just surrender unto me and I will free you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Of course, Arjuna is a Nityasiddha, eternally liberated soul, and he's not bound by sinful activities, but Bhagavad-Gita is spoken to Arjuna for not only for Arjuna's benefit, for the benefit of all human society. When Krishna and Balaram were 11 years old, they left Vrindavan, went to Mathura. Of course, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur says that Krishna and Balaram were 1.5 times older. They look 1.5 times older than they are. So 11, half of 11 is 5.5. So they were actually 16 to 17 years old, looking that old, but they were only 11 years old from birth. So Krishna had his Kishore Leela in Vrindavan, was between the age of 11 to 16, and then he went to Mathura. And then he took Brahman Diksha from Garga Muni, who was the priest of the Yadu dynasty. Then he went to Sandapani Muni, and Sandapani Muni instructed him. He was a Shiksha Guru, instructed him for 64 days on 64 different arts, the Kshatriyas, and different subject matters, many things listed in the 10th canto in the Krishna book. So at the end of that, Krishna Balaram asked the Guru, when you take a Diksha, take initiation, then you should give Guru Dakshin. In other words, you're supposed to enumerate the Guru, give him some offering. So Sandapani Muni knew Krishna Balaram weren't ordinary boys, and so he consulted with his wife, and his wife said, well, we should ask him to bring back our dead son. So Krishna Balaram agreed. So they went to the ocean and asked the ocean, can you give back the dead son of our teacher? But the ocean said, well, the dead son's not with me, it's with the demon in the form of a conch shell in the bottom of the ocean. So Krishna dived in the ocean and killed the demon, but he didn't find the son. But he brought back the conch shell. Then he went to Yamaraj and asked if Yamaraj could bring back the dead son of the Guru, and Yamaraj did that. So he brought back his dead son. So Sandapani Muni was pleased with Krishna Balaram, so he gave him the benediction that whatever you speak will always be nectar and always remain fresh for time immemorial. So since Krishna spoke the Bhagavad-Gita 5,000 years ago, it's still something that we can study and relish and read continuously throughout our lives and never not get tired of it. Because, of course, Krishna didn't need a benediction for that, but that's the difference between a transcendental literature and mundane literature. So the Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature, and it's the ABC, or the beginning of spiritual life. So everyone should read the Bhagavad Gita, and Vaisheshika Prabhu advised that one should read one chapter every day. You can read the Sanskrit or the English, so we should try to at least read one chapter every day. Even if you have a busy schedule, you can find a chapter 15 or chapter 12. There's 20 verses. You can take 5 or 10 minutes. And the purification is there. You have the Gita Mahatmya, which gives the different stories of how people were benefited by hearing even one sloka from a certain chapter, or one line of a sloka. So I'll go through this purport very slowly and try to comment on the meaning to this verse. The Lord has described various kinds of knowledge and processes of religion. Knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, knowledge of the Super Soul, knowledge of different types of orders and status of social life, knowledge of the renounced order of life, knowledge of non-attachment, sense and mind control, meditation, etc. He has described so many different ways, different types of religion. Now in summarizing Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that Arjuna should give up all the processes they have explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful actions, for the Lord personally promises to protect him. So, also in the 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Uddhava Gita, one verse says, I have revealed this way of life for those bearing the burden of mundane religious principles. Purport: ordinary religious principles describe immutable rules, regulations, prohibitions, undoubtedly a great burden for those bereaved of Krishna consciousness. In the first, there are countless religious scriptures in the world describing countless religious duties. The authorized scriptures are those spoken by the Lord Himself or His representative, as stated in this verse. In the last chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says, Sarvadharma Prakshijam Mamekam Saranamajam. One should give up the troublesome burden of mundane piety and directly take to the loving service of the Lord, in which everything is simplified. Lord Krishna also states in Bhagavad-Gita, Susukam Kartam Avyayam. The bhakti-yoga process, which depends completely upon the mercy of the Lord, is very joyful, easily performed. So, this is there are many so-called religions in this world, but they were something that came about in due course of time, and he says that they're burdensome, and they don't teach people how to love God, for the most part. So that's why majority of people have rejected religion. And when the boys were looking for a place to make a temple, they were always see there were so many churches that were empty, because people in Kali Yuga, they're not so inclined to religion. People are not interested in religion, and the people who are leaders of religion, the priests, can't make people interested enough in religion. So people are more interested in sense gratification than going to church or having some kind of religious belief. So they want to think that there's no God and that you can do whatever you like. Even Prabhupada, we went to Russia in 1971, and the churches there in Moscow, they were also empty. The people were not religiously minded. So in this way, Krishna telling Arjuna to give up all varieties of religions. But 5,000 years ago, those religions didn't exist, but the different kinds of processes were there for self-realization. He mentions here that the Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, following Varnashram Dharma, controlling the senses, these so many things, different types of religious. He categorizes these as different types of religion. But Krishna says, Bhakti-yoga vijanati, only by devotional service can I be understood. And the whole Bhagavad-Gita deals with these different kinds of processes, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, but we know Yoginam Api Sarvesham, that Bhakti Yoga is the highest of all, highest form of yoga. There's many yoga societies in the West nowadays where people go there to do some gymnastics, to twist themselves into a pretzel and keep the body, for keeping the body fit for their health reasons. But they haven't read the Bhagavad-Gita, they haven't read the 6th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, so they don't know what real yoga is. If you read the 6th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, it's describing how to perform yoga. But that yoga was declined. Arjuna said that it was more difficult, that he couldn't do this kind of yoga, where you had to sit in one place with half open eyes. First you had to find a sacred, secluded place, which is difficult to find. And then you had to sit down on kusa grass with deer skin, and you have to be free from fear and free from sex desire. And then with half open eyes, you have to sit and meditate on the super soul in the heart. So in this age, nobody could do that. In the Satya Yuga, that was the Yuga Dharma, was meditation. And even Vishwamrita Muni was meditating for 60,000 years, trying to perfect the yoga system. But Indra became a little worried that he was becoming too powerful and would take his post. So he sent Menaka, the society girl, to make Vishwamrita Muni give up his yogic practice. So he didn't even see her. Just by hearing her ankle bells, he became attracted to her and was not successful in his yoga practice. Also, one Muni was in the Yamuna for 10,000 years, Sabari Muni. And he also was not successful in his yoga practice. And he ended up coming out of the water and going to Mathura and marrying 50 wives and having 500 children. But at the end of his life, he did go to the forest with his wives and attain perfection. So these other practices are there, but they're not recommended in this age. In the age of Kali Yuga, it says Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalo, Kaluna Steva, 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 Gatir Anyata. That there's no other way, no other way, no other way, but chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Guru Krishna Prasadi by Bhakti Lata Beach, at the time of initiation, one receives a seated devotional service, and the Guru also takes your karma. So you no longer are, as long as you're following strictly, you're no longer subject to karmic reaction. But the karma is there, and you have a material body which is influenced by the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So even though we're not accumulating more sinful activities, we're still suffering for past sin, and because we have a material body. So it's not that we're not going to get sick, or that we're not going to have to suffer in so many different ways. It's still there, but we just simply tolerate it and go on with devotional service. But we know that we're not creating any new sin. The sin, prarabdha karma from previous life, or even before we became a devotee, we committed so many sinful activities. Even to kill a tree is considered sinful. So that's why when they built this temple, they left the tree in the courtyard. And anybody else is building a house, if there's a tree on the property, you shouldn't kill the tree. Because if you kill a tree, then you have to first you have to make a public announcement that I killed a tree, and then you have to fast for 3 days. This is the atonement recommended for killing a tree. Even though, of course, a tree is a living entity, but it's a living entity that's consciousness, very low consciousness. So, but it's still sinful to kill something that's living, whether it be a tree or an insect or an ant or whatever. Still some reaction is there. So we're walking on the road, or we're cooking in the kitchen, or whatever we're doing, just by breathing we're killing living entities, and then we have to suffer reaction. But if you become a devotee, then you have no more, there's no more reaction for these activities. It can't be avoided. But at least we should avoid any kind of sinful activity that will hamper our devotional practices, devotional service. In the 7th chapter, it is said that only one who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Does anybody know that verse? Yes. Yes, that's right. Krishna says, Yesam tu antagatam gatam papam janam punya karmanam te danva ma nirmukta vajate mam drita vrataha. Persons act piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are free from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. That's what's this was being said here. So in the 7th chapter, it said that only when one becomes free from sinful reaction can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Thus one may think that unless he's free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering Krishna, he's automatically free. There is no need of strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the Supreme Savior of all living entities. With faith and love, one should surrender unto him. So, this is also, there's the Palshruti. When you read Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, at the end of most of the chapters, it gives the fruit or the benefit of hearing these narrations, called the Palshruti. So, many times it says, if you hear with faith and love these narrations, you'll get free from sinful activities. This is the qualification. But in Nectar Devotion says that these statements are not mythology. It says, if you go to Radhakund and bathe in Radhakund one time, then you will attain prema. So, we've all gone to Radhakund at least one time, most of us, and bathed there. Or at least put 3 drops of water on our head. But we didn't get prema. Not that statement is not false, but the statement does not apply to everyone. You have to have faith and love. So we practice Krishna consciousness, we're gradually trying to develop our faith and love. Faith is the Shraddha, the first thing when we associate with devotees, we develop our faith. Faith comes first. And by that faith, we take up the process of Krishna consciousness. We have some faith that this Krishna consciousness is better than anything else we've done in this material world. So then we accept the spiritual master, then we agree to follow the 4 regulated principles: no meeting, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and chant 16 rounds of the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this, we may not have much faith and love at the present time, but gradually it will develop. Krishna consciousness is not something that has to be learned. It's there in the heart. Nityasita Krishna Prema. And it's like the child, the baby child, the ability to walk is there, but the child has to grow for some time, and then he begins to walk. So the ability to love Krishna and to, with faith, and the ability to love Krishna is there in all our hearts. But we have to practice Krishna consciousness with determination, with patience, determination, and enthusiasm. Rupa Goswami tells us in Nectar of Instruction, we have to be patient. It's like a woman, a man and woman get married, and the woman wants to have a child, but the child will not come immediately. It will take at least 9 months. So they have to be patient. So in the same way, we are trying to develop our love, and by we have to chant without offense. For chanting is not just mechanical, but chanting, we should chant and avoid the 10 offenses. If we're not feeling ecstatic symptoms when we're chanting, that means we're still committing offenses to the holy name. And everything is there in the holy name, Nama Chintamani Krishna, Krishna Rasa Vigraha. Krishna and Krishna's name are non-different, so everything is there in the holy name. Goloke Premadana Harinam Sankirtana. The holy name is descended from the spiritual world. It's not a material sound vibration. Like Prabhupada said, you can chant Mr. Smith, Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith, or whatever, a few times, but then you get tired. But we can chant Hare Krishna every day for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and not get tired, because it's a spiritual sound vibration. But the quality of the chanting, that's what is required. Sometimes people wonder why they're not making advancement. It's like a marriage party got on a boat to cross a lake or river or whatever, and it would take some time. So it was nighttime, so they sat down and fell asleep. And when they woke up, it was light, it was daytime, but they were still in the same place. So they said that the boatman was still in the same place. What happened? He said, I don't know, I've been rowing all night. Then they looked and they saw they forgot to pull up the anchor. They put an anchor in a boat so it doesn't float away. So in the same way, if we're chanting, but our chanting's offensive, namaparad, we're not making advancement in Krishna consciousness, stopping our progress in Krishna consciousness by committing offenses to the holy name. So we should understand the 10 offenses by reading Harinam Chintamani, recite those 10 offenses and know. Especially the 10th offense is to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on the material matter, on the subject matter, and also to be inattentive while chanting. So this is probably one of the biggest problems devotees have. We're chanting Hare Krishna, but we're thinking about so many other things. So we have to keep bringing the mind back under control and just try to hear the sound vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it's an endeavor. Every day we have to try and our best to hear the sound vibration. And if we're sleepy, then we should stand up to ask Prabhupada, if we're sleeping during japa, what should we do? And he said, you should do like I do. you see on one movie video, you see Prabhupada chanting japa in his room in Los Angeles, walking back and forth. So if you can't stay awake when you're chanting, then you shouldn't sit down in the first place, because that's what we usually do. We sit down and tell ourselves that I'm not going to sleep today. Today I'm going to chant without sleeping, but then we fall asleep anyhow. It happens every day, and it happens for same devotees for many years. So we have to be a little determined, even if we're tired or if we had a lot, went to bed late or whatever it was. We should not sit down. We should chant and walk until we finish our 16 rounds, and then we'll get the benefit of chanting the name when we get the purification. Of course, 16 rounds is the minimum. When Prabhupada came to America, he requested his disciples to chant 64 rounds, because people in the Gaudiya Math, in Bhaktisiddhanta's time, he told everyone who lived in the temple to chant 64 rounds. So Prabhupada also told his disciples they should chant 64 rounds, but they said no, it's too difficult. They said, okay, then chant 32 rounds. They said, no, that's too difficult. They chant 16 rounds, no less. So 16 rounds takes a couple hours. Should take not more than 2 or 3 hours. So it's not so difficult. If you have to work or you have to do other things in the morning, you can split it up. Prabhupada will chant 4 rounds before breakfast, 4 rounds before lunch, 4 rounds before dinner, 4 rounds at night, or something like that. In any case, Prabhupada didn't take any excuses. The devotees were working very hard to make the temple ready for Prabhupada's arrival, so they were only sleeping 4 hours, and they weren't chanting their 16 rounds. So Prabhupada asked them, "Are you chanting 16 rounds?" They said, "No, we don't have time." And Prabhupada told them, "Then you just sleep less." The same thing with Bhaktisiddhanta's disciples. He told them to chant 64 rounds, but he wanted them to worship the deity. He wanted them to print books. He wanted them to make dioramas. He wanted them to do Harinam. He wanted them to do so many other things at the same time. And they also said, "We don't have time." And Bhaktisiddhanta said the same thing, then sleep less. So, if you want to finish 16 rounds, then you can try to rise early in the morning and chant your 16 rounds before Guru Puja, and then you can take some rest during the day if you're tired. But that's the best way to finish 16 rounds. And they asked Prabhupada one time what would please him the most. He said, if you chant 16 rounds all at one time. So we're talking about surrender here. And Prabhupada quotes from the 11th canto, from the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Anukulasya sankalpa patikulasya varjanam rashisha diti vishvaso gopritreve varnam tata ama nik sepa sapanye sadvira saranga daha. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that lead ultimately to devotional service. So these are 6 symptoms of surrender, which is to accept everything favorable, reject everything unfavorable, to know that Krishna is your protector, to know that Krishna is your maintainer, to feel oneself, expect the mercy of Krishna, and feel oneself meek and humble. These are 6 symptoms of surrender. So whatever we do, we should be mindful it is favorable for devotional service, or is it not? So Uh, so we can try accept that which is favorable and reject which is unfavorable. So there's many things that are unfavorable for devotional service, we should reject them. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that lead ultimately to devotional service to the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the social order, but by executing such his duty, one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness. All his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of the Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes free from all contamination of material nature. There are different processes of religion and purifying processes by cultivation of knowledge, meditation, in the mystic yogic system, etc. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender unto Krishna will save him from unnecessary wasting time. One can thus make all progress at once and be free from sinful reactions. So here it says, anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. Shravanam hi kevalam. So one may do his duty, there's Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. One may be an expert Brahman, may be able to quote so many verses, may have all the good qualities of Brahmanical qualities, but if he's not becoming Krishna conscious, then he's wasting his time. He cannot deliver his family, he cannot deliver anyone, he cannot even deliver himself. And one may be a Vedantist and may be well versed in all the scriptures, and many scholars around the world who study Indian philosophy and know the Vedas and know all can quote so many things, but their endeavors like owning a cow that doesn't give any milk. So they're having the nipples on the neck of a goat, which looks like should give milk but doesn't give any milk. So these endeavors will not help one to become Krishna conscious. Because so Prabhupada would often have conversations with scientists and philosophers. And of course Prabhupada, one point in Los Angeles, he was with many scientists, and he said, you don't know who is God. Krishna is God, so we're saying that Krishna is God, so why don't you take it? So, of course, those scientists, some of them became favorable, some of them, but they weren't ready to surrender fully, their lives fully, because it's difficult to surrender, to become to let go of all the material attachments, so many attachments in the world. One yogi was meditating, and some mouse was coming there and was disturbing his kalpans. He hang on the line, sometimes mice come. So he got a cat to chase away the mouse. Then the cat was hungry, so he had to feed the cat, so he got a cow. And the cow gave milk for the cat, but then he needed someone to take care of the cow, so he got married. Then he got a wife, then he got a house, then he got children, then he got furniture, then he got a car, then he got a mobile, then he got a laptop computer, then forgot about his meditation. So this is the way of material life, how people get entangled so much in material life, and ask them to surrender or give up these things very difficult. So we're in brahmachari. If someone's young brahmachari, not so much entangled in the material world, it's easier to take the devotional service. It's harder, especially people think that spiritual life is something you take to when you get old. One man in Delhi, he's 60, in his 60s, decided to become a devotee. His friend told him that you're too young now to take the devotional service. You should wait till you get older. But his friend got in a car accident and died. So it's never too late to take the Krishna consciousness at any stage of life. But you have to get some skriti or some inspiration has to come that will make you want to see that the material world, there's no real happiness in this material world. We're reading the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj describing the frailties in the material world. Even though Prahlad Maharaj was a 5-year-old boy, but he was instructed by Narada Muni. He knew about all the problems in the material world that people face and would be facing in this Kali Yuga. So very difficult for people to surrender to become devotees. But if they associate with devotees and hear from devotees and read Prabhupada's books, then they can understand. So, of course, Kali Yuga says day by day, people are becoming less and less, their ability to understand anything about spiritual life is becoming less and less because people are so sinful. And the most sinful activity, of course, is eating meat. And that is going on all over the world, although maybe less nowadays. Some people are becoming vegetarian, but still that's not enough because also different animals are vegetarian, but we're Krishnatarian, so instead of eating meat, we eat Krishna prasadam. In this way, by practicing Krishna consciousness, we can come to the level of mode of goodness. People in the mode of passion, ignorance, they can't surrender, and they can't see any benefit in the Krishna consciousness movement. In the early days, they would accuse us of being beggars or parasites because we weren't working hard. People think you have to work hard. Get up in the morning, go to work, fight the rush hour traffic, go to a job that you don't like, and then come home, fight the rush hour traffic, eat something, go to sleep, have a little sex life, and they think that that's their only business in life. This doing this day after day after day. So until they are educated in Krishna consciousness and find out that there's something better, then they're not willing to surrender. And most people say, when we try to give someone a book, they say, no, I'm not interested, or I don't have time. They have time to watch television 6-10 hours a day. They have time to go to nightclubs and movies, but they don't have time to read the Bhagavad-Gita, or read Srimad Bhagavatam, or read anything, spiritual books. So in this way, the Kali Yuga is progressing, but Lord Chaitanya came, Namo Mahamanadaya, Krishna Premadayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya, Mahagurta Savinaha. He's the most munificent incarnation because he gave what no one else gave. Here Krishna is demanding surrender, but Lord Chaitanya, he didn't demand surrender. He gave freely. To every man, woman, child, whoever he met, he just told them to chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So he came to give Krishna prema, and this was unique, that no other incarnation gives this. When Krishna appears after 1 millennium, 1 day of Brahma, Lord Chaitanya also comes to give Krishna prema. So we are following the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was non-different than Krishna, and following the Yuga Dharma. So those of us who are fortunate enough to have some pious sukriti from past life were able to somehow come to the understanding that material life and spiritual life, that the alternative to material life, spiritual life, was much easier, much simpler than material life. People are envious. They say, why don't you get a job? Well, why should we work like you, work like an ass? The ass carries the load all day long. At the end of the day, the owner gives him a little grass. The grass is there everywhere. He doesn't have to work for it, but he doesn't understand that. So in the same way, we don't have to work like they do. But it's not that we're inactive. They accused us, and even today some people think we're with the CIA. The Prabhupada says, what's the CIA doing in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement? We don't see any CIA agents getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, taking a cold bath, going to Mangalarti, chanting 16 rounds, going on the street, chanting Harinam, doing all these different activities that we're doing. So it's not even reasonable to think that we have anything to do with politics or anything like that. But still, foolish people got that misconception somehow or other. But the way Prabhupada said, we're trying to make first-class men, not fifth-class men. In today's world, everyone is fifth-class men or 10th-class men. So they elect one tiger, then they remove him, and they elect one lion. So there's no difference. Whoever's running the government, they're all 10th-class men. And all these different kinds of religions are also 10th-class religion, or Kaitava Dharma. So either this way, the whole world is going on in Kali Yuga, and the whole world has become a so chaotic and so the misguided, misdirected civilization, where they've polluted the lakes, they've polluted the air, they polluted the food, they've contaminated everything, did everything to twist the arm of nature to create so many other problems. In the name of progress, in the name of science, science say life comes from life. But we don't agree with that. You can't produce life from chemicals. Life comes from life, not life comes from chemicals. You can't, there's no chemical, they can't take any chemicals and produce life. They say in the future we'll do that. Well, we challenge them that you do it now. They say no, we'll do it in the future. It's like a post-dated check. I don't have any money in my account, but I'll give you a check for $1 million, and in the future you can collect your money. So they're making promises in the future. We're going to stop death, we're going to stop disease, everything will be utopia. But we see even in America was the most, supposed to be the best country, affluent country in the world. People are so unhappy. So many people have to take antidepressant drugs. People are depressed and unhappy. And instead of making progress and making people more happy by modern civilization and modern amenities, they're making people just the opposite, more depressed and worried about money and worried about, and the divorce rate has gone up. In the 70s there was hardly any divorce. Now the divorce rate is like 50%. Abortions became legal. Abortions were illegal. Now you can get an abortion anywhere. Someone said in class that ladies go for abortion at lunch break in the office. Even there's one yoga studio in America, the boys go there to do Harinam. The yoga teacher, the person who owns that, the yoga teacher, she's had 2 abortions. So this is the Kali Yuga, people don't think there's anything wrong with having an abortion, but they think life is a combination of chemicals. And you're not really, abortion is just killing the chemicals. But this is not a fact, that a child is there, and if you wait 9 months, a living entity will come out of the womb. So, this is what's going on today. One should be attracted by the beautiful vision of Krishna. His name is Krishna because he's all attractive. One who becomes attracted by the beautiful, all-powerful, omnipotent vision of Krishna is fortunate. There are different kinds of transcendentalists. Some of them are attached to the impersonal Brahman vision, some are attached to the super soul feature, but one who is attracted to the feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and above all, one attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna himself, is the most perfect transcendentalist. In other words, devotional service to Krishna and full Krishna consciousness is the most confidential part of knowledge, and this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad-Gita. Karma Yoga, empiric philosopher, mystic, and devotees, mystics and devotees are all transcendentalists, but one is a pure devotee is the best of all. The particular words used here, Ma Suchaha, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't worry, are very significant. One may be perplexed as to how one can give up all kinds of religious forms and simply surrender unto Krishna, but such worry is useless. So again, Prabhupada is reiterating that there are different processes and different kinds of transcendentalists. But yoginam api sarvesham, Prabhupada, Krishna says that of all yogis, he who abides in me is the highest of all. So there's Jnana Yoga, there's the mystic yoga process, and so many other karma yoga. People want the mystic powers. People want to go to the heavenly planets. People want so many different things. But bhakti-yoga, that is superior to all other. One time Advaitacharya didn't like the fact that Lord Chaitanya was giving him so much respect. So Advaitacharya decided to do something to correct that situation. So he started teaching Yoga Vishishta Mayavadi philosophy, which say everything's all one, or Gyan. And then Lord Chaitanya came to Advaitacharya and said, Acharya, what do you think? What's superior, Gyan or Bhakti? Advaitacharya said, no, Gyan is superior. First you have to have knowledge, and then knowledge of the impersonal Brahman, and then you can attain Bhakti. So Lord Chaitanya became angry and started beating him. And his wife came, Advaitacharya's wife stopped him, told Lord Chaitanya, you stop beating this man, he's an old man, you're going to kill him. But Advaitacharya was very happy that he had accomplished his goal and got to be subordinate to Lord Chaitanya. In other words, but he proved also to the world that Gyan is not superior to Bhakti. Bhakti Mama Bhajananti. Krishna can only be known by devotional service. So we are grateful to Srila Prabhupada. He built all these temples and gave us all these beautiful deities. Krishna's form, Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes are all absolute. So we don't have the eyes. Premanjana Trita Bhakti Lochanena. We don't have eyes tinged with the salve of love, so we can't see Krishna now. He's not personally in front of us, but we have the deity. So we can go to the temple and worship the deity, impose our love by worshiping deities, performing devotional service, by serving the deity in the temple and serving the Vaishnavas. There's Nam Ruchi, Vaishnav Seva, and Jiva Doya. So we can have compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. It says in Brahma Loka, the residents there, they don't feel any distress, they don't have any old age disease. Their only distress is that for the misery that people are suffering in the material world. They're just unhappy to see paradukkha dukhi. They're always unhappy to see people unhappy, distressed in distressed condition. So we should try to get a taste for the holy name, right? Try to have compassion for the fallen distant souls, and we should serve the Vaishnavas in the best way we can. And Krishna says that you should do your duty, but give the results to me. So in this way, we should surrender our hard money to Krishna, and so we can make advancement in Krishna consciousness. We shouldn't be greedy and keep our money to ourselves. But we should, especially the householders, are recommended that they support prasadam distribution and different activities, Krishna conscious activities, selling books or prasadam distribution. If you can't do that personally, you can sponsor this month. We're doing a marathon, so people who want to give some money, donate their money, they can sponsor the Bhagavad-Gita so we can distribute more Bhagavad-Gitas to people. Hare Krishna. Anybody have any questions, comments? All right, Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad-Gita ki. Keep getting